This is Bitcoin land, or Bitcoin Witsand as it's officially known, on the southern coast of South Africa. It's a Bitcoin circular economy project with perhaps the highest level of Bitcoin adoption per capita in the world. You can pay for almost everything with Bitcoin. Breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as holiday homes, a gym, petrol, or gas for the Americans, mini golf, boats and water sports. Most of the tiny town's residents are Bitcoin hodlers, i.e. they save in Bitcoin, the hospitality staff earn and even split their tips with the Bitcoin Lightning Network, and of course the Bitcoin Bee is everywhere. Even the ostriches like Bitcoin here. There's Bitcoin graffiti, a giant Bitcoin sign, and the Bitcoin white paper is actually hanging on the wall in lots of restaurants and holiday homes. So for the next 10-ish minutes, we'll visit Bitcoin Witsand, or Bitcoin land, and you will meet the brains behind the Bitcoin operation. You'll see me wipe out, and you'll get a sense of how on earth this African town came to be a haven for the biggest cryptocurrency. But first, let's be a good little journalist and put Bitcoin Witsand to the test. Can I live on Bitcoin in this Bitcoin circular economy? Even the local convenience store accepts Bitcoin. Ta-da! You can buy all this with Bitcoin. I counted like 5 Bitcoin stickers in the shop. It's like one here, one under there, one over there, the other way, there. 2 more on the front door. Oh, just found another one. And then another one. Just here. Do you get paid in Bitcoin as well?
Depends on how you want it.
Depends how you want it. Okay.
Bitcoin or cash?
Bitcoin or cash. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay, so they can also be paid in Bitcoin or cash if they choose to. You think they accept Bitcoin for the putt-putt? Of course they bloody do. So the other day they wouldn't let me pay for dinner, but I've snuck out. I'm going to pay for breakfast. I'm filming with my phone, so I have to use my ring. 3, 2, 1, do the tick. Yeah. Thank you very much. So you know it's a very Bitcoin friendly town when even in the toilets there are Bitcoin graffiti in places. Scan that, tap pay. 3, 2, 1. Received on there. There you go. That. Thank you.
Cow. Thank you so much.
Cheers, love. I'm on the way to a distillery that accepts Bitcoin, and apparently the owner was slow to come around to the idea of Bitcoin, but now he totally gets it. So excited for this one. Let's check it out. So what is that behind us, Sophs?
There's 2 of them that I can see.
This is a rum distillery, and as you can see in the top right-hand corner there, that side, there is a Bitcoin sticker because they accept Bitcoin. Let's go in and check it out.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's like nice tasting nail polish.
So go for it.
Thank you so much.
And then, I didn't expect this to be like woody and rosy.
Yeah,
Don't drink it, yeah. I think the next year or 2 years, given the halving and everything that's on its way, etc., the next year to 2 years in this area might be very interesting.
Hello, Joe at home here. 2 very quick things before we move on. Firstly, his rum shop accepts Bitcoin. Secondly, they're looking at actually making some Bitcoin themed rums. And the final thing is that he references the halving in this monologue. Now, the halving is not when a Bitcoin is chopped in half. It's actually when the Bitcoin miner reward is chopped in half to ensure that the Bitcoin protocol stays disinflationary. The halving happens roughly every 4 years, and it ensures that there will never ever be more than 21 million Bitcoin. The halving is a crucial part of the Bitcoin protocol, much like distillation is a crucial part of rum making.
So the guys doing distillation, they'll know. You can see in here, there's the alcohol bubbling.
Oh yeah.
All right, and there. So those little copper pieces are called bubble caps, and it all plays an integral part in the distillation process. And every bubble cap makes a difference.
Every dent makes a difference. So I just bought a load of rum. Now paying here on the screen. Scanned it, press pay. Oh, there you go, it's gone. Yeah. And it's gone on there as well, big tick. Hey, Bitcoin for rum.
Sorry, it's mega windy, but basically behind me, even though there's a giant Bitcoin Witsand sign already saying welcome to Witsand, they're now putting up giant orange flags too to indicate the preference for orange and the preference for Bitcoin. So interesting, just as we're putting up these flags on the flagpole up there, one of the town's biggest Bitcoin critics pulled up his car and Edwin was like, uh-oh. Turns out the guy's coming over to say, hey buddy, I've changed my mind about Bitcoin. That's my South African accent. And he said, can Edwin go for a drink with him in Ellie's restaurant to find out more? So something's clearly changing, like, because obviously even if the critics are asking about Bitcoin, then they're onto something here. Fascinating. So I wonder what we'll talk about. We'll ask Edwin tomorrow. Good morning. So I'm now going to test out the hairdresser and the gym, as they apparently accept Bitcoin. I wonder if the real estate agent would accept Bitcoin too, because then you could, spend your Bitcoin while you're here on a new home. But so far I'm finding this circular economy to be pretty damn circular. There's no such thing as a perfect circular economy in any case, because there is no one currency around the entire world. And maybe there shouldn't be, but also I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hello, good morning. I'm just wondering if you've got any time at like, say, 11:30 or 12 o'clock for a wash, blow dry, that sort of thing? No? Next Wednesday? Oh, shame, okay. The key thing is, do you accept Bitcoin? I see the sign everywhere.
No.
You don't?
No.
But wait, there's a sign and everything. The gym, okay. But not the hairdressers? Okay, well, thank you very much all the same. Looks like a lovely salon. Ooh, workout done. Now to pay. I want, of course, to lock it up. So I'll lock it. Now to pay. And Edwin gave me instructions. So what I've got to do is send some sats to a lightning address. So the lightning address for the gym is fitness at 21 sats. It's quite good, isn't it? We're going to paste that in here and do the transaction now. I'm going to send him a tenner in dollars because I went yesterday as well, and I'll see if that's enough. Right, paying now, and oh, it's already paid. Great. Easy, too easy. I miss humans though. It's funny, Edwin is so keen on orange pilling the town that he's even given me my own set of orange pill pieces of paper in which people can scan 5,000 sats and create a new lightning wallet if they so wish. So I'm also now part of the circular economy in Witsand in terms of the adoption process. I'm on the way to talk to him now to get a better sense of what's going on with this project.
Yeah, can you talk to me about this concept you were saying last night about the intolerant minority? You were saying last night. What is that, and what's this concept? What does this mean to the Western viewer?
So in South Africa, halal food is like everywhere.
There's not Muslims here? Or?
Well, it was a very loud minority that changed the whole South African food industry.
Yeah, the Jewish population in South Africa is like less than 1%, and yet you can find kosher food in lots of supermarkets too.
Yeah,
so I guess
very
it's like
similar
halal,
to that.
Yeah, halal food, and yet the Muslim population here must be 10%. Again, it's not huge, right? And was that what you're sort of getting at?
Very similar.
I'm saying I'm putting words in your mouth there, okay? Yeah.
Very similar. I think the people in Witsand that understand Bitcoin are at a level now where we actually, and because we really believe strongly, the Bitcoin community in Witsand is so driven that it's inevitable that everybody will just accept it. Well, it's back to understanding. So we had a breakthrough, obviously, with some of the business owners that got together and they just really understood how important it is.
And to what extent is that one of the key things or the key ingredients for a successful circular economy? If you can maybe sum up what you've discussed so far in terms of what are the key things you need for a circular economy?
I think the necessary thought that at least what worked for us was we started with philosophy and education.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the business owners really start understanding what's happening and what Bitcoin is and how important it is, we started doing advertising for the businesses that have adopted Bitcoin and then handing out vouchers for people to actually then use those vouchers with the advertising off the back of the vouchers at the shops that accept the Bitcoin. And then we tried some meetups. The meetups, well, some technical meetups, they didn't really work that well. It turns out people like parties more. So we held some parties and put a spit on the, put a sheep on the spit and just had some fun. And that really creating the positive connotation with Bitcoin, instead of the first few meetups where it was more like a technical people and that technical session. Not a lot of people pitch for that. Where with the parties we had massive amounts of people, and we would just put memes on the walls and just paint everything orange and stuff like that. Yeah, so the awareness, I think the parties were great. And then we have the, I think, Bitcoin Reserve. Well, when the Bitcoin Everything in 21 Pages book came out, when we found that, we just printed, we've probably given out 800 of those. We just printed so many of those, and we made sure that they are in the shops that do accept Bitcoin. So if anybody that ever needed information had access to it.
Mm-hmm. And so from then on, you reach this critical mass of Bitcoiners. And from them, it's not necessarily a waiting game. Can you now remove some of the key Bitcoiners from Witsand and it would carry on?
Yeah, there might be a good argument for actually doing that and getting people to think about what's happening. Because I do think people that are still pushing against it, they might need some time to just process everything that has happened. Because it was a very quick thing. For a lot of them, because Bitcoin is just money, you can't actually see the adoption happening. And so for a lot of them, it's something that came out of the blue. And now, because we've put up the billboards and we've got a lot of visibility, they might feel like it's too much too quickly. So there might be a good argument for actually stepping back. Yeah, it's happening.
And so where's Witsand going to be this time next year? And then where's it going to be in 5 years' time? So 2029. Call it 2030, a nice round number.
I think Witsand's role in the Bitcoin space is more of something to point at. Mm-hmm. We're already seeing neighboring towns. We've onboarded a few shops just in the last week,
right,
in neighboring towns. And the reason I think it's working is because we can actually point to Witsand and just go but it's working. So I think our role in the Bitcoin space for the next year would be to just show people how easy it is. And there's not a lot of room for growth, or there's a couple of shops that still need to accept Bitcoin, and then obviously education will never stop.
So what tools do you have at your disposal at that point? When the FOMO kicks in, when the euphoria kicks in, when you realize your neighbor's about to buy a yacht or whatever it may be.
Yeah, we're still discussing that, but we might want to change the billboards to just stay humble, but we're still discussing. There must be some slogans that we can find in order to just keep people grounded.
Yeah, that's going to be wild. That would make for a great video, coming back here during the bull run. I'm very intrigued.
Spoiler alert, the Bitcoin bull run did begin, which means the Bitcoin price is increasing quite substantially. I visited Witsand in January of this year, and the Bitcoin price was about $40,000. Today, the Bitcoin price is $60-something thousand, which means the community as a whole has much greater purchasing power. Now, the Bitcoin price may continue that way, hence Edward's call for the community to stay humble. Now, stay humble, stack sats, is one of the defining mantras of the Bitcoin community. It's basically a big meme in the space. In British English, that translates to stay calm and save in Bitcoin. Saying, Edwin, you're saying it took you a year to get you to how many merchants?
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years to get to 2 merchants, and then another year to to get another merchant. And then there was a quiet period, and then all of a sudden in the last year it exploded to 27,
right,
28, yeah.
Well, Joe, as you know, we got our own Bitcoin Witsand Bitcoin community, and I'm just a regular Witsander. We are enjoying the river, and that's what we're about.
Yeah.
All morals and promoting Bitcoin. In Witsand, everybody knows me as Kwaga. Well, Bitcoin about 2-3 years ago,
yeah,
I just stumbled across it by accident. Started studying it. When I moved down to Witsand, Edwin taught me a bit more, and we got more involved, and yeah, now we're Bitcoiners. 90% of the town, well, more than half of the town is Bitcoiners. All the businesses accept Bitcoin, or most of them, and we're working on the ones that's not.
Yeah. And how has it helped you on a personal level?
Personal level, easy to spend, taking sats, and yeah, it's hedging against the rand. Well, history tells us that the rand's always going further down than the dollar or the pound, and that's always been our problem. Being from Africa, competing with guys like yourself in pounds was always difficult. So I think Bitcoin sort of levels the playing field for us. I think it's working towards adopting Bitcoin for the whole community, to become a stronger community, I would say. Because the smaller communities in South Africa is normally the ones that do it first. But if we get the Bitcoin in here and things are working to plan, then we should teach ourselves properly.
Yep.
And we should come off quite well from that.
Awesome. Also, this sometimes happens in South Africa. We have power again. Great. Back to work. Yo, so even the gym, it's like after dark here and there's been another load shedding. But even the gym, see that? The gym accepts Bitcoin, but it accepts it with an honesty box. So like you just ping the gym owner sats when you finish working out. This is such small town vibes, I love it. There you go, Witsand Fitness.
Hi Joe, thanks for visiting us. I'm Ellie from Ellie's. So Ellie from Ellie's, but also Ellie from Nala's Winkel, which is the grocery store. So we started off buying a holiday house here, and then we just really enjoyed spending time here, and we ended up holidaying here really, really often. Here there's a sense of community and people know each other. And in a way it's a little bit more socialist. Yeah.
Whoa, hold your horses. I'm not sure that Ellie meant socialist or socialism there, so I reached out to her to check. She said the following: I definitely didn't mean socialist in a give people free stuff kind of way. So probably the wrong word. Surprised emoji. I meant to convey that we have a flat society with lots of social cohesion and strong community bonds. If that's socialism, sign me up.
Because you know the guy helping you at the petrol station, you know the cashier, you know the person serving you. So it's a very small community, whereas Joburg there's anonymity and there's just lots of people, so you don't know people. So we didn't really plan on having a business in Witsand. The plan was to work online. Yeah. But once you're here and you get involved here, it's not nice to be distracted with online work. Like you kind of want to let that life go eventually. So we started looking for opportunities, and this building became available to rent, and I've always wanted a restaurant. We decided to try. That was our very first Christmas, right after we opened. We did a 3-course set menu. One of the locals asked if he could maybe pay in Bitcoin.
Right.
I had no idea what it was, so I said yes. So I think that was an on-chain transaction.
Fun fact, a Bitcoin on-chain transaction is a slower and usually more expensive transaction, hence Ellie's surprise. This next to me is a visualization of those Bitcoin on-chain transactions waiting to be confirmed in the mempool. For day-to-day transactions, most people use Bitcoin Lightning. It's like a layer 2 solution. Back to Ellie, who explains how it all started.
Looking back, it's strange to think like how it all started, because now it's just normal. But it definitely helped that there was a lot of knowledgeable people, and also people who came in from other towns who had very, very interesting conversations with. And, you know, just learning about it step by step, like what is money, I suppose, and then what is inflation, and what is currency, and what is necessary and not necessary. So I remember there was a moment where I was having a chat with someone, and he looked up and he said, well, you're spending time learning about it. You could have been out drinking wine with friends, or you could have been at home with your family, but you're sitting here learning about it. And that was kind of an aha moment. It was like, yeah, I suppose just sitting here listening to the stories counts for something.
I think these guys accept Bitcoin. Hi, Jack.
It felt more like Bitcoin land than Bitcoin Witsand. You know what I mean? A community that's small but thriving, and that's getting more and more into Bitcoin. And that point that Edwin and a few others kept making about the idea that you just need to get a intransigent minority or an intolerant minority in order to get the town to fully adopt this thing. You don't need the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker to be adopting Bitcoin. You just need the butcher to be bullish enough to get everyone else in his entourage to take it a bit more seriously. And that's what we're seeing. And it's funny, I'm seeing that sort of echoed in these other circular economies around the world. Yeah, you just need a few sort of more hardcore individuals in the community to really understand Bitcoin and the implications of it, for it to access and to effectively create this exponential growth that Ellie was talking about. And the funny thing is that we've left Witsand and we're on the way to a biltong factory where, of course, they accept Bitcoin. Very near to there's a restaurant that accepts Bitcoin, and soon, apparently, a load of farms accepting Bitcoin. So that network is spreading to the surrounding area. So it's not just a Bitcoin circular economy, it's a Bitcoin adoption story. It's a Bitcoin economy which is spreading its wings elsewhere. I think it's just fascinating seeing how this pans out.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. I love to make this sort of content and I really hope you find it educational, informative, entertaining, fun, I don't know. I am able to make this content thanks to my two wonderful sponsors. First person to thank is PlanB.network, your one-stop shop for all things Bitcoin education. Please use that resource to learn more about Bitcoin and to continue your Bitcoin journey. It's also very beginner friendly. The second person to thank is CoinCorner, because CoinCorner is a fantastic company with an amazing team. I've used them myself and I can attest to how great they are. So thank you to CoinCorner and to PlanB Network. I'm going to keep doing this kind of content, and guess where we're going next? See you on the next one. Thanks.